And it's been a cool, wet spring. Of course, the ground's not warm enough for the produce to be growing, so everybody's about 2 weeks behind this year. But yes, it was a much faster season last year because of the weather. Larry has a trick here. He has a way of warming the soil before he plants. So tell him
Well,
about
now
that.
this is again we use hoop houses or what they call coal frames. And what I do is a small area, about a 5 by 10, 5 by 9, something like that. And it's a raised bed situation, but I use plastic and then hoop it over to make looks like little half covered wagons, or Conestoga wagons. And but what it does is that heats that plastic and heats that soil up, so that when we plant our outdoor stuff like squash, I've got squash making right now. But when I planted it on the cool days, I put that plastic over it to keep the soil good and warm. And the trick to growing anything is keeping the soil warm. Plants won't grow if the soil gets below 50 degrees. Well, they don't get much below 50 degrees naturally, but when it does get below 50 degrees, stuff just goes dormant. It just will not grow. So when you get your soil up around 60, 70 degrees, that's when plants will really take off growing. So,
That's what's happened this year. You know, the soil just hasn't gotten warm enough. We need those 50-degree nights, and that's not happening. But Larry has a trick here, as he just described, is to heat the soil up and prepare it.
Right. You can lay plastic flat on it if you want to. I hoop mine so that once I start planting, I continue to put the hoops on the top of it. But I got it fixed to where I can actually take the plastic off during the day to let the sun hit the plants. But then late in the afternoon, I put the plastic back over it so it builds up heat before the sun goes down. And that way the soil stays warm overnight. Well, we use greenhouse, and we heat it both with wood and gas. And some things like tomatoes we grow pretty much year round. Other things we plant early in the winter and start so we can harvest it early in spring. And but like I say, it's just a trick to growing some things is just keeping the right temperature on them. But you don't have to get them hot. That's the thing. They're not hothouse. They're greenhouse. And that's a big difference because we raise the sides on the pretty days when the sun's shining and let the sun shine in. We got it set up where we actually can raise the roof section on it to allow the overhead sun, so that these items are grown pretty as close to outdoors as you can get and not be grown outdoors.